Hello and welcome back to Two Labs Garage. Standing here today with my 1946 Chevrolet Fleetmaster. Yeah, it's got a 48 grill in it, but the car's a 46, so that's what we're going with. Now, unfortunately, before I got this car, many years before I got it, the car had been vandalized. Some kids got into where this thing was being stored, and they smashed out just about every single window in here. They just missed these back ones right here, and the driver's side version of this window. And I'm grateful they missed those. That's the rest of them had to put new ones in, and this is our kind of a rat ride on doing on a budget. The car is what it is. I'm going to have fun with it and trying to keep the price low. So I'm going to show you how I made this window, this window, this window, all out of plexiglass. And the windshield's plexiglass too, but I am going to replace that with real glass before I get this car on the road. I'm going to put a real windshield in it because it's safety. But these side ones, one day, I might put real glass in the sides too, but for now, the Plex will do fine, and it really came out a whole lot better than I was expecting. So if you need to DIY your own windows for your vehicle, I'm going to show you how I did it. So, let's go. Alright, so door glass. Now I'll say this 40s car has a system I've not seen before in my 60s car. And that's there's a rim here that comes out. So first thing's going to be remove that. And it's held in with Phillips head screws. Alright. Those bungees holding the door open. Because if I don't have it, it just automatically does yay. So, take that off for a minute. Let's see what we can come up with. There we go. Oh, let's see, okay, like that unscrews. There we go. We got that off. Now, I think this car's been wrecked before, because everybody tells me the side molding is 46, and also, I was pretty confident this car used to be burgundy. Inside trim had blue paint on it. And what is that? Gotta get the door panel off. I want to be very careful with it though. Even though I don't plan on reusing it, it'll be the template for what I do choose to put on there. Looks like we got some screws down here. Alright, so I did a little bit of research, try to figure out how to get these off, and these things seem to be the popular way. I found on these older Chevys, such as this one, that it doesn't seem to work. But what it did do was push enough out so I could see in between this kind of washer cushion thing and the handle. And there's a clip. But the way it's situated, there is no way that tool's going to work. The only thing it did was make it so I could see better. So I'm going to try this. And it worked great. This is just a stiff, like a drywall knife, but it's kind of a scraper thing. It worked great. Got it out to the point where I could take this pick, this regular Harbor Freight pick, and the clip's off. Now I gotta figure out how to get the stupid thing off. Just take this and beat on it a little bit. Stick this in there. Work on some prying motions. removed the spring back here. Really need to get a box to keep all the stuff in this car in. But yeah, this is not particularly hard, it's just knowing the trick. Alright, so all of the cranks and all came off, handles. I got the door panel off. I thought it was kind of interesting that they use nails to hold the door panels on, but they have these things like this, and nails that go in there and wedge. I think that's ingenious. That's something I hadn't seen before. But nonetheless, normally I'm used to these window areas being like a skeleton on the inner door, and that's how you get the glass in and out. This is solid, and I have no idea how this is gonna go. I guess I'm gonna take the regulator out, and God knows. But anyway, to start, I guess take these screws off. Just need to make sure I understand what's latch mechanism, probably these, and which ones are window regulator. Also, I don't know what's behind these access panels. So, this is how you learn stuff. I'm getting a crash course in it. We gotta do a little something here on the side. Go ahead and patch this in with a license plate, because well, this is how I want to do it. Now down here, it's a little short, but I've got the piece of trim that goes and covers all this. So I'm not worried about that. That's why I shifted all the way to the top. I'm just going to use these truss self-piercing screws and just go right into here, right in the license plate hole, and it will grab absolutely nothing. See if my looks ain't better on the bottom one. Down here, I'm going to put another one. That'll be under the trim. I'll probably come back and put a pop rivet right around here somewhere. Use a pop rivet just because a little flatter. Might look a little nicer. But yeah, just for now, I'll do. Alright, so I got a couple screwdrivers here. This is just a kind of a standard one. Let's see how it does. Short screws. That's part of it. See if I can't understand if I take this off. This one goes to window. So it looks like these access panels go inside here to some screws the whole regulators in. That's definitely a design I've not seen before. Not saying it's bad, just hadn't seen it. Alright, so this is what I'm talking about. With the panel removed, I had access to that. And that, I think that's all that holds it in. But we'll find out soon enough. Alright, so I got the regulator out of the door. And that just involves some gymnastics getting it out of this hole. And it worked. Still hadn't quite figured out how the track's supposed to come out. I think I got it loose a couple places, but I still hadn't quite figured that out. I might not have to take the track out. That'd be nice, but I don't think that's likely. One thing I definitely want to do is get the rest of this glass out of the track. Now it looks like it's pinched in with a rubber, like U-channel or something. I was kind of hoping it'd bolt in, but we'll work with what we got. This might be too big for this job, but we'll find out. Yeah, I think I'm going to need a screwdriver. Yeah, that's going much better. Wearing gloves will probably be a really good idea. Nah. We bleed like men. Like I said, you probably should be wearing gloves. Try a different size. Get out of there. Get out, get out, get out, get out, get out. There we go. Just gotta have the right little jingle going. I don't know if you can hear it, but there's an ice cream truck off in the distance. And it's playing that song. Watch out! Broken glass coming through. Clean. Now I figure, whoa, watch out. Now I figure out what to do about a replacement. Wish these things were fairly simple to get off. I'd just use on the other side, but probably make a good template. But back to pizza boxes. Oh, Domino's. Domino's, won't you help me out? Trim all that stuff off just to make life easier. Alright, so I got pizza box taped to the window. That's a nice good size sheet of cardboard. Can start using to make the template. And also with this I can do some witchamadoodles to kind of get it to fit and all, and not worry about possibly busting the plexi or something. Just gotta play for cardboard. Just like I did the back window, go along here and just mark. But I'm not going to worry so much about the bottom. Just this side, and that side. Now remove said pizza box. And you don't have to use pizza boxes. Any sheet of cardboard will do. I just use what I have. And then when I'm done with them, my wife will put this down in her flower beds, use it for weed mat. Alright, so to get it to go in the channels, I'm going to add a 1/4 inch around. So I'm going to take my Harbor Freight scissors. And you didn't see me in the video doing the back window. These scissors, I got them on sale from Harbor Freight for 69 cents a pair. And I bought several. I really, especially for no more than I paid, I've been pretty impressed with them. They're cutting this cardboard like they're made for it. You couldn't do this with dollar store scissors. And yeah, I know it's a dollar store, but you gotta keep in mind, nowadays dollar stores almost twice as much as what these cost. Alright, so there is a window template. First thing I'm going to want to do here is test for fitment. And also just how to get the dumb thing in there. You can drop it in there like that. This is not going so well. Now, I'm just going to take advantage of the flexibility of the cardboard. I'm trying to see if I got the right shape. This needs to be trimmed in it. Alright, so good news is it will go in the track. Bad news is I had to jam it in there. Oh. Now I'm just kind of looking around the edge. I think I'm going to trim off this end, because just looking at how it's fitting in the channel here, bring y'all around. Alright, so I do have it jammed in there. I know I need to trim some off. I'm just going in here looking at the general fitment and trying to see exactly what this needs. I think trimming from this side is going to be the way to go. And that'll give me some room. I also am going to need to put my Weber felts in there. Probably going to have to get some new ones. Hopefully you've got something universal or something. But all this curvature here is good, so I really don't want to mess with that. This is a straight line. So this is where it would be easiest. Now, to fight this thing out. See, this is what I mean by I can force it. I'm force it with a piece of cardboard. And literally, no harm, no foul. If I try that with a piece of glass, harm and foul. Alright, so I got it trimmed down a little bit. Now let's see how we do. Go ahead and take this piece of trim off. Just because I see it's coming loose, and I'll just stick it back on after the fact. Stick the cardboard in. That fit much better. Now I gotta get in the track though. Alright. That's not too bad. Alright, so that's what the window's going to look like, except it's going to be clear and not looking like something that came from Domino's Pizza. 3 sides anyway. The 4th side, I ain't quite figured out yet. Because that's what goes in the regulator. And until I know how to set it in there, I'm at a little bit of a standstill. But one thing I am going to do, since I'm confident with how the window's up, is I'm going to take my Sharpie and trace the window sill. We'll get to why I'm doing that in a little bit. But now just trace it. Alright, so it seems like it's time to put the regulator back in. So I know it may look like I've never done this before. I haven't. So what makes me uniquely qualified to show you how to do it when I've never done it before? I'm making it up as I go. Well, just that. You're seeing this from the point of view of somebody that hadn't done this a million times. If anybody becomes good and proficient at their craft, first of all, they'll make something look easy. And second, there's some stuff in there that the average Joe that's never done this just doesn't know. But somebody who's done this for a while and it's old hat, they don't even think to mention it. So now, got the crank part back in. Need to get the top track of a regulator. This will be interesting. So first of all, get it in. So I'll start with the far side. Do what you need to do completely blind. And there ain't no way for me to show you. I can barely see it myself. I'm starting to understand why it comes apart so easy. Pivot. Jiminy Christmas. Ah, for Pete's sake. Oh, give me my fingers back. Thank you. So it appears the next step is attaching this piece of track. I think. Turn this on. Alright, I just screwed that one in loose. Just enough to hold some tension. While I swing this around. Put this in. Now I'm going to tighten them up. Another thing I see is a little concerning is this piece of a latch here has the letter L on it. And I'm on the R side. This thing really was a pretty color when it was new. That burgundy coming through. I think this car needs to be burgundy again. I don't know. We'll see. It had some metal to it. Beautiful color. I don't even particularly like red. Alright, so now what I'm going to do, or at least my attempt, put the window all the way up. I need to get this track on it somehow. Again. Alright, so here's the proper order. Get the crank part in the top track. Get them inside the door. Get them together like they go. Lightly screw in the crank part so you got a little flexibility. Come back, get the bottom part of the regulator into its track. Tighten this, go back and tighten these up. And there's also one screw that's shorter than the rest. It goes there, at least I think. So now we need some clear substance to act like a window. But before we get to that, I'm going to take my crank and just stick on here. Crank the window all the way up. Alright, so it's the track all the way up. Now I can see that it's just a little bit longer down here than where I scribed earlier, so I'm going to need to add a little bit to that for the bottom of a window, and that's why I scribed that earlier. Alright, so I've gotten it in here. I've also discovered that the top three sides I got right. The bottom one I didn't. And that's not the end of the world. You know, that's why we're using pizza boxes. So I scribe right here. Keep in mind I'm going to have to add a 1/4 inch. Right here, I missed by about 1/2 inch. So right here I'm going to put 1/4, and over here I'm going to put 7/8 because I really believe that's right. Did build that a long time. A lot of times I can just look at these measurements and be pretty close. So, lower the regulator, pull my cardboard out. Alright, the whole saying, measure twice, cut once. Well, I got no shortage of pizza boxes, so I am going to transfer this onto a new one. And then make my adjustments. 7/8 of an inch. One 1/4 of an inch. I'm going to use the other box just to be doubly sure. Alright, so got my final template. Now I'm just going to take my Sharpie and transfer it to this clear substance. I really don't know what this is made out of. I will assume it's plexiglass. They might be let in. I don't know. It's a sneeze guard from COVID. You remember walking up to the counter and the clerk standing behind one of these? Well, I got it cheap. Much cheaper than even the cheapest plexi at the hardware store. And decided I can make a couple windows out of it. Alright, so we got the marks on it. And I'm going to cut it out with my grinder. Alright, so I got my window cut out. Now I got all these little melted beads on here. I'll just take a knife, cut them off. Normally they come pretty easy. Yeah, like that. This one right here be a little more stubborn, but that's alright. Alright, so now I got them trimmed and neatened up. Go ahead and drop this in. No more rehearsals. She ain't perfect, so that's okay. Alright, so we got it in the track. So, I'd like to think that that's done, but I know better, it's not. I gotta attach it to the track somehow, so let me go find something to do that with and take it out and reset it. Yada, yada, yada. But yeah, there you go. Ain't a bad looking window, really. Just need to clean all my smudgy handprints off it. Alright, so I'm getting ready to go to the store here in a few minutes to get some glue to get that window stay in the track. I also thought I'd just see what it looked like if I cleaned up this, get the fingerprints off, and the original glass. I remarked about how grateful I am that the kids didn't bust this window out, and I'm just as grateful now. But looking at it close like this, like right here, right here, right here, it ain't because they didn't try. I don't know why this one held up, but they took some swings at it. Now I've seen some of the other channels, they like the spray weight glass cleaner. I've never tried it, so let's give it a try. I'm going to wipe it with what I grew up wiping windows with. Paper towel. Never was lint-free rags back then. Also on the outside it don't look half bad. Where some guy painting, I wipe the paint down. Same thing. Doesn't look half bad. See what happens till I hit the inside. Oh yeah, they tried to get that window. One thing I'll ever claim to be good at is cleaning stuff. Hey, at least I don't put up a front about that. But I'm impressed. Part of me hates seeing the marks on this window from where they tried to bust it. But at the same time, like the rest of the car, gives it character. Alright, so now I need to get that, I guess, plexiglass secured to the track. And for that, I use my favorite, E6000. Even thought about calling this instead of 2 Labs Garage, E6000 Garage one time. Love the stuff. Now in the past, I've been places and they've been out. And there's a Goop Marine, Goop Plumbing, those two. I've used them in this place. That stuff's pretty good too. And I've seen some other brands that say, use just like you would E6000. Well, you cost twice as much. And you're telling me you like E6000. Why wouldn't I just use E6000? Alright, so to do this, I'm going to drop the window just a hair. I'm going to raise the window up out of the track. Try to expose the inside of the track. The third hand, so I'm going to put some tape, painter's tape on that side of the window, reach it up over and not leave myself enough. But nonetheless, I do have a window hanging and I can see the track. Let me show you. Right, down there you can see the bottom of the window just above the track. I'm going to put a few dabs, not going to go too awful heavy because heck, I might put glass in this one day. But I'm going to put a few dabs in there, probably dime size or something, big snot ball size, I don't know. Just enough to hold into the track. Screwdriver, pull it where I got better access to the track. Glob there, a glob there. A little bit towards the end. Maybe a glob here. Whoa! There you go. For that window now, the best thing I can do is just let it dry or go come back, put some trim on it, and put those bolts back into the bottom of the tracks. Put door panel back on it. But that one is essentially done now. But those kids got more windows than just this. So now to move on to the front. Alright, when I did the front windows, it was pretty much the same as the back. And you see how long it's taken me to do the back. I'm not going to bore you with all that. There were a few differences I'll show you here in a minute, but yeah, the front pretty much follows the same. The vent window has its own little nuances. Alright, so again we got a pizza box taped to the window opening. Did this one a little different because I put the spring-loaded clamps on there. And they're not much, they're from the dollar store, but they're doing the job. And over here, I think this line in the body pretty much lines up with where it goes into the car itself. So I taped it there, got it attached over here with this big shade thing that was poking out. So I did rip the box a little bit. I can kind of connect the dots in this area, so I'm not that worried about it. So anyway, Sharpie off the back, and let's trace the window again. Alright, so the good news is my template fit right the first time. That's awesome. The bad news is, and yes, there's bad news, I was only able to get it in here because it's cardboard, and I was able to do all kind of flexing and stuff, and yeah, I still hadn't quite figured out how this is supposed to go in here. I keep thinking this is supposed to move over somehow, but I just hadn't figured out how yet. But some bonus good news is that window should I'm doing my fingers in quotations like you can see me, be the same. Same thing when I get to the vent. I do one, I should have a pattern for both. But yeah, just gotta figure out how to get that in there. Inside here, this bar, and the fact that this is a symmetrical window, it made it hard to get this in there. End up having to take this loose here for crank for the vent window. What?
I don't want to be in the screen.
You weren't. And that allowed me to push this over just a little bit. Didn't take much, but enough. You see the screw holes are now lined up to get my template in there. All right, so I got it popped in. Pretty easy, just slid this thing that way, kind of wiggled it in, then wiggled this back. And we could see my flaws from earlier, but watch this. Now if I've got the window all the way up, they disappear. Gotta clean it up and mat it to the tracks, but this isn't bad. All right, so what I've done now is I've put a little bit of a red and tacky grease on this. I'm going to go ahead, you see there's the roller here. This is the window in the down position. Switch hands real quick and just slide it on there. I will say this, it's easier to get the thing just stay there before I put the grease on it. Oh boy. But anyway, what we want to do now is get that glass or substance from up there down here. And I'm going to put some E6000, the best glue in the world. Well, no, I like it. Let's just put it that way. And put it in that channel there to seal the window to it. All right, so front window's on there nice and good. Let's go on and do the vents. As you can see, I've already done that, but we'll just pretend I haven't. All right, so I got the driver's side window replaced with a piece of either let's say a plexi, I don't know. But now I got the wing windows, and obviously we got a windshield issue. Now the windshield, when I put that in, I'm going to put in a temporary one. I'll explain why later. But the wing window, this is going to be permanent. So anyway, regardless, it'll be made out of plexi. And I have my favorite type of template maker. Crying loud. I was going to say in the mud, didn't you? So anyway, go ahead. Let's see if I can't get factory side. Well, there we go. So I got the seam lined up over here. I have to take my word for it. And over here I got the bottom sitting on the thing. So I'm just going to go in here, trace out the wing window. And believe it or not, this is the one where I'm expecting I'm going to have to do some trial and error and trial and error. So anyway, while I go, y'all come with me, we're going to trim this out. And then we're going to start trying to get it to fit this thing. And hey, if I screw up the first time, pizza boxes galore, and if I run out then, I'll have pizza tonight. Alright, so there's that red line. That is honestly what came from. I'm surprised that the wing window was the hardest one to do, but it was. So let's just see where this puts us. It's going to be several trial and errors. So let me go ahead and get cutting on it. So let's see where this puts me. Alright, try this again. Alright, so I think I got a much better trace that time. But again, since I went on the inside and traced, I'm going to want to leave my red line and maybe somewhere out here cut. Much easier to cut off of the template, because I haven't figured out how to add back to it yet. Alright, now let's see what we got. And closer every time. There you go. A Little Caesar's Pizza Box window. I just know right in this area here I need to leave a little bit more to round it. But other than that, we got us a template and we can use it for both sides. Well, hello friend. It's always interesting some of the stuff you find when you work on these old cars. Here I'm just moving to the driver's side window. Got me a little tree frog on the windshield wiper arm. Hey buddy, you may want to find another spot because, well, eventually I'm going to put a windshield in here. Yes, I hate to close you up in a hot car. Well, before I get going crazy peeling all this protective film off, I wish my wife was here. She loves picking stuff. And I love her too. That's another reason to wish she was here, but I think I'll go stick this on the vehicle, make sure we're right. Alright, so lots of things, round it a little bit right there. I might get a sander out to do that, I don't know. But go do my little bit of fitting and make it work. Once I get it perfect, trace it, and then we'll worry about sticking it in there, getting film off. Alright, so my favorite glue. Gotta stick this in. Alright, make sure I got it the right way. In the groove, get back in the groove, you're out of a groove. That's a pretty good YouTube channel. You like NASCAR? Alright. So, what I'm going to do now is kind of push this in here. I know you're thinking, if I kind of push it like this now, that'll never work. Well, method to my madness. If I get in there like this now, I got something to hold it as it cures up. Once that dries, I'll clean it up. Now I guess my next step is the windshield. Alright, now it's time for me to get to work on this windshield. I've kind of been putting it off because it's, well, it doesn't look like it's going to be fun. And I also wanted to know if I was going to be doing a temporary or a permanent. Reason I chose temporary is, I don't know when I'll get around to it, but I got something I'm going to use this car for in about a month and a half. This is towards the end of October, so just, if you've seen me do videos before with that truck that's right there, you probably got a pretty good idea what my plans are for this. So it needs a windshield. I need to keep the weather out, but we don't have to handle any kind of highway speeds, at least not for a while. So, yeah, I'm going to be putting out a plexi one again before it goes on the road. It's going to get a real windshield with real windshield glass. I'm not cutting corners on the windshield. It's safety. We don't do that. So now I got to get the old rubber out, which means I got to get the inside trim out. Alright, so I'm going to take these Phillips head screws out. Alright, so the windshield trim and rubber have been removed. There was a couple of stripped out screws. Thankfully, they were right over, you can see one right there, where the defrost vents were. So I was fortunately able to take my grinder wheel and fit down there without the windshield and cut that one off. So anyway, wasn't my preferred method, but it did work. And my next plan was to take, while the windshield was out, repaint that dash. All right, so I'm finally ready to put some clear stuff on the hole where the windshield should be. So, got me some more cardboard. And using never set up, I set it here so I can go inside and trace it. But where I let it sit down there too, it's gotten a little warped, so I'm going to get a little help probably from a Camaro, hold that a little flatter, and go inside and trace it. And when I said help from a Camaro, that's what I meant. Well, this would be just, yeah, that's not bad. Not perfect, but not bad. I can work with that. Alright, so now just the Sharpie. So now we're up inside here. I'm going to test my cardboard window. See how well it fits in here. It's actually pretty daggone good. And my friend owns a shop with me, and him cut the glass out of it. We may just use the same cardboard template. I don't know how I'm going to do this glass. But yeah, that'll work. Good size. Okay, so now to put the windows in, I'm going to seal it in with this Loctite all-purpose adhesive caulk. This stuff will seal weather out pretty good in my experience, but it also doesn't take a whole lot of encouragement to get it to peel up and turn loose when you're done with it. So anyway, that's the reason I'm choosing this. Another thing that probably worked pretty good, just plain clear silicone. This is just something I had around, so that's why I'm using this. But yeah, I'm gonna do this and hope for the best, to be honest with you. So most people that do windows for a living, they have these electric caulk guns. This is like super cheap, not all that great of one. It'll get the job done. And I'm not the best caulker in the world either, but I'm not the worst. Now I know this stuff's coming out white. It will dry clear. Now we gotta get this in the car. Now I lost my depth perception and stuck my fingers right in that wet caulk, so. And there we go. Like I said, that white stuff will dry clear. And it's staying in. We've got the trim inside. There we go, looking nice. Got the trim on there, holding it in place. Put a couple washers and little spreaders in the middle part just to hold that. But yeah, that'll do what I want right there. Keep the leaves and the rain and all that out. I don't have to tarp it anymore. And then when I get further along in the project, I'm ready to really start driving it. I'll have a glass grill windshield put in. But till then, this is good. Alright, that'll do it for another episode of Two Lamps Garage. Hopefully this helps somebody out. This is just how I went about putting some plexiglass windows and decided to keep this car on a budget and replace the windows that had unfortunately been vandalized. Now, keep in mind, I'm not saying this is DOT approved, because it's probably not, but nonetheless, I mean, it's doing what I want it to do. And just a reminder, I know I said it a few times, but can't say it too many times, I am going to have real windshield put in it before it goes on the road. But for now, I mean, working on it, keeping the weather out, keeping the dirt out, use that for a Christmas decoration, this windshield will do fine. Anyway, till next time, take care of your projects, be good to each other. God bless y'all. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, do all that nice stuff, and I will see you soon.